hurt us.
Like,
You're gonna be so mean.
Oh, I'm ready. I have
I'm
words.
afraid.
I have words. I have thoughts.
I've surrounded myself with alcohol and other various.
Oh my god, all you gay little beverages.
Yeah. I'm a beverage
I
goblin.
only have tea. I have tequila for later.
Battery
Alcohol's a later
acid.
thing. I don't need to get too sassy on the internet.
I don't know why you all are so afraid. As we all know, and as I keep reminding you, I have done nothing wrong ever in my life.
Yeah, well, every time you do something that is nothing wrong, I get just a little more afraid.
I don't think that's how it works, but I'll take that.
You're so pleased with yourself, and
look at the shitty grin on their face.
Don't get me. It's a fear of respect. Like, it is born out of respect for the choices you keep doing to us. But it is fear, no less.
Sure, no, for sure.
I mean, I will just say, credit where credit is due. I could not have made any of those unhinged decisions without the help from you.
I'm aware. And I was drunk on Ranfair, and that's on me. But also fuck you. Hi, everyone.
Listen.
Hey, what's up?
Anyways, hi. Hello, everyone. I did not allow my cast to do a usual rant because we were talking character stuff. I do know that I have a request for a character fact that I will be DMing a certain someone at some point during this stream, or maybe on break. Who knows? But remember, you can redeem points for character facts. You can also redeem them for good stuff and bad stuff. That has had a significant impact on how some things have gone in the past few episodes, so feel free to contribute if you would like.
I'm sitting on the bad stuff for a certain session later this week.
Mm-hmm. Are you, JT?
Yes.
I'm gonna keep that in mind.
I'm ready.
I just redeemed for good stuff, so all of us, we're welcome.
Oh shit, you did.
You did. Perfect. Now we have good stuff on the table, and we'd love to see that. Last time they got a talking horse and an enemy who ended up not being an enemy, so they were winning.
That was the good stuff?
Yeah, that was the good stuff. That was the good stuff in hell.
If a horse started talking to me, I would be terrified.
Well, the horse was Douglas.
Oh, okay.
And
well, that
I'm
makes
already
sense.
terrified.
That makes absolute sense.
Yes, you were winning. You were, in fact, winning. It is correct. that is correct, though. You are 110% correct. So, it is post travel for Turkey Day. All of us, well, many of us, are coming from different places than usual. This is going to be an adventure we are going to have tonight. But before we go into that, if you are brand new to the channel somehow, I don't know how you found your way here, but it's going to be a good night to be here, I think. If you have not been here before, we are live from the apocalypse. We are a not-for-profit TTRPG studio that raises money for aid organizations and good causes. Currently, we are fundraising for Rainbow Railroad, the Canadian branch. They are an organization that help queer people, and especially in these frightening times, trans people, get from unsafe places to safer ones. At any point during the stream, you can either go where the subscribe button would usually be, and it will say donate instead because we managed to hide that. Or if you are on mobile, you can type !donate, and you will get the link. We ask that rather than subscribing or giving us bits or any of that made-up money that Father Bezos takes most of, you instead put what you would have put to us in that way to the charity that we are platforming. We are so close to hitting our goal. We would love to do that before the end of the year. So again, if you're able to donate, that is awesome. It is not expected. We do not have any incentives for this game with that, but I always just like to put it out there that the more donations happen, the more things are going to happen. And that's probably going to depend on good stuff, bad stuff redemption. So, we can make this a real chaotic experience if we want. I mentioned the channel points already. We have plenty of things that you can redeem there, as well as reactions to moments that happen as the session progresses. You may have seen, were you able to join us right at the start of the stream, what happens if you choose to subscribe. We cannot stop you from subscribing, though we have made it difficult. Some people, for instance, have thrown an Amazon Prime sub our way, and we cannot say no to things like that. But if you do choose to subscribe, just know that beloved Dimension 20 Dungeon Master, Brennan Lee Mulligan, will kill one dog for every month you have been subscribed. I believe Steph, who is a player at our other table of A Season of Secrets and Shadows, killed 30 dogs at the start. It has been a rough month. It has been like a 300 dog month at least. So, don't contribute to that. Just throw the money towards Rainbow Railroad and good things will happen. I think that is all the housekeeping I have to go through. So, with that, I'm going to have the cast go around and remind us of who they are playing, what their current playbook is, and how their character's doing as we start tonight's session. And we're going to start with you, Amber.
If winning, then why is my character crying? That is so real. Hi, everybody. I'm Amber, also known as the Space Jamber. I am a 3-time Emmy-nominated TTRPG writer, editor, podcaster, and streamer. I just quit my job on Monday, so maybe I'll come back to streaming on my channel now that I've left the views. Anyway, hey, you can find me anywhere there's internet at the Space Jamber. What else? Oh yeah, I'm playing Astrid. Pronouns they, she. I am playing the Halter playbook, which is a mystical forest fae. And that's all I'm saying on that.
I think that is completely fair. That is very reasonable.
Yeah.
Having a normal one, I think we can say.
A normal one. Just an absolutely normal one.
And how about you, JT?
Hello. I'm afraid. And I'm JT. My pronouns are they, them. Tonight, I will be playing Miss Octavia Frostpin, Winter's Exile. She's having a marginally less normal one, and it will continue to get less normal as time goes on, I'm sure. But for now, just a marginally less normal one than Astrid, I would say.
You say a marginally less normal one and indicate that it's going to get worse, but JT, we have 2 sessions left, including this one. So how much weirder could things get?
I'll be
So
honest.
much weirder. So much weirder.
It has been nothing but downhill for Octavia since she got here. Truly and genuinely, nothing good has happened to her.
Octavia has had quite the first season, I think it's fair to say.
She only got kicked out of her court and started a war.
Yeah, real normal things for your first season. I mean, really. What an epic journey. And we love that for her. And last but not least, Q.
Hi, I'm Q. You can find me as Midnight Ink on pretty much all of the internets at this point. I'm playing Dorian Black, who is the Angel playbook. I'd say he had a normal one, but I, like Dorian, have no idea, actually, which is so interesting. So interesting. And I would like to explore that further.
I am delighted because we will have so much time to do that tonight. And last but not least, hi, I am JD. I am the monster, also known as the storyteller. And I will be playing everyone else who perhaps shows up during this evening. I don't even know who some of those people may be, so it's going to be an experience for all of us. And so, Not unlike the past few weeks, we are not going to start as the way we usually start. There will be no opening monologue describing things that are happening in other parts of the city as you all are tangling with the various threads you have picked up along the way. Mostly because there has not been time for that, and, well, to give you a glimpse into what's happening in other places, that would be too much of a spoiler. So who knows? You may find out what is happening across the city before we reach the end of our time together tonight. And so I'm curious, first and foremost, when we left Astrid and Octavia and Elise, you all were on diverging paths, going to rest and process what just happened to you when you fell through a break in reality and ended up in fairy and made some revelations in the process. I am curious as we begin where Astrid and Octavia respectively went once they parted ways.
I think Octavia just went back to Abigail's residence to sort of slough off the rest of the day and try to relax after everything that happened. I don't think she can, but I think she tries.
And so that's interesting, Octavia, because you could not return to Abigail's residence when you went back. You kept trying to find your way down the street, but was it a street? You're not sure. It was somewhere that you found and you were there, and Abigail offered you that hospitality, but you don't have a key in your hand, and it is not appearing.
Oh, my stuff's in there. Okay. She doesn't have anywhere else to go. Maybe one of the courts. Seems like a bad idea. Wouldn't take me last time, why would they take me this time? I don't want to disrupt Astrid while they're getting their time to recover. And she sits down in the street. She doesn't have anywhere else to go.
And so, Octavia, you are sitting there thinking about all the doors that have been closed to you recently. And call it serendipity, but you do hear footsteps at that point. And you look up, and I'm going to be curious to know what Octavia's reaction is as this figure approaches, but how familiar is Octavia with the Infernal Church?
Uh, she knows only what Abigail has told her, which I think amounts to essentially the players on the board for that are her father, and some mystery bloke.
And so I suppose in that case, what you would see is a priest wearing a collar with vibrant red hair. And they walk up to you and kind of look you up and down and tilt their head. And then nod and say, "Ah, you must be Miss Frostpin."
You just like guessing people in the street, or have you come seeking me specifically?
I go where I am needed, and it seems like you are in need right now.
Not so in need as to strike any deals, if that's what you're after. I'm afraid I've already got one of those for that.
And I would not be as foolish as to approach you this directly were I hoping to make a deal with you.
I suppose that's fair enough. What can I do you for, Father?
Donovan, Ashley Donovan.
What can I do you for, Father Donovan?
You seem rather lost right now, and for reasons that I do not entirely understand, Abigail seems fond of you. I am here to check in on you and make sure you get what you need in her absence.
To what end?
Preserving my relationship with Abraham Donatelli.
Well, Father Donovan, if it's all the same to you, I think I'll wait for Abigail.
That is your choice. If you would like to sit in the street all night, please be my guest.
Do you have a bed?
I have a place where you can rest, and it will not be attached to any residence I own. It is a room in a boarding house. And I am asking nothing in return.
Oh, I suppose that Abby and Abraham will just see that, right?
That sounds about right to me.
Promise?
What precisely am I promising, as I am also not foolish enough to leave things open-ended with one of the fair folk?
You're promising that you'll ask for nothing in return as long as I reside in this bed, which I hope will not be long.
I promise that I will ask for nothing in return if you accept the hospitality that has been offered of a room for you to stay in temporarily while your other residence is not accessible.
Very well. Where is Abigail?
That is not a part of the deal, nor is it something I am going to answer.
I'm not asking as part of the deal, I'm just asking as her friend.
Abigail's business is her own, and what she chooses to tell you is her choice.
Fair enough, Father.
And he hands you a key and gives you directions down several streets to one of the local boarding houses. Though he does say that he is willing to accompany you if you would like him to escort you there.
I can fend for myself, thank you. I'm sure you have other business to attend to. Other lost girls to offer home.
I can see why Abigail likes you. Have a good rest of your evening, Miss Frostpin.
As with you.
We're going to leave Octavia there for a moment, and we're going to move to check in on Astrid to see where they went after their experience in Fairy.
To say that Astrid went home has a lot of interesting weight behind it, especially given recent revelations. And she's never particularly felt like the Primer household was home. Um, there's just now extra weight and meaning and almost sorrow to it, as if she had this extra place that she belonged for the past 26 years and no one knew. Well, maybe they knew, but she was not afforded that luxury. But she returns to the home she knows to gather her belongings and see if Dorian would be opposed to moving in a little bit earlier than anticipated. Because they can't face anything. They can't face the Primers knowing exactly why they felt so othered. They can't face the Primers any longer knowing now. I don't know. There's a lot going through their head, and it's been a really, really rough year for Astrid. And just as she had hoped to find some security, some safety, some answers to her questions, it all got pulled out from underneath them again. And that, um, in as their heels click and clack on the cobblestone streets, heading back to the Primer residence. She appears very composed, very poised, but it is a stark contrast to the discord and absolute cacophony of worry and terror going through her head.
And when you reach the Primer residence, Astrid, how do you try to avoid encounters with the rest of the family?
Astrid probably cases the place a little bit to see which windows have lights in them, which windows might have shadows moving, um, and probably everything but like the back entrance has people moving and going about. Um, so Astrid actually goes in through the back door, and perhaps through the servants' stairs the to where her bedroom is, not too far from that.
And as you move through the house, Astrid, you may notice, and I will leave it up to you, that you are moving in a way you did not fully know you possessed. That your footsteps are not just light, but silent as you move through. That you have a sense before someone is going to step out of a doorway where they are and where they are coming from, and you are able to move just out of where their eyesight would be. And there are even a few moments where you're certain someone must have seen you, but much like you had pulled that cloak around yourself, you seem to be shielded from eyes. And you don't know how far that would take you. Like, you don't know if you could just walk right through an entire room filled with
Mm-hmm.
the people who raised you. But you notice that no one's eyes seem to linger on you long if they see you at all.
Yeah, there's probably like the maid that we keep as, I mean, that the house is kept as like the governess, um, probably would be the one attending to like the younger children now. Um, but yeah, Astrid specifically does not want to meet or bump into her parents, and I think maybe her mind is too clouded by worry and too lost in trying to detangle the knot that is her mind right now to even notice that no one sees or hears anything. I think this is all just anxiety manifesting into, and she's probably too like caught up in her own anxiety at this point to even know, like, yeah. So it's just solely until she gets behind the safety of her own door, survival.
And it feels important to name that this is, while it may feel in some ways familiar to experiences Astrid had, especially as the seasons commenced, of being invisible around their family. The difference here is that this is purely based on Astrid's intention. And rather than this being a purposeful ignoring of them, this is her, as you said, being in survival mode and protecting themselves.
The As soon as like that door like creaks closed and the sound of the, you know, the knob shutting in the door, um, kind of clicks into place, maybe that weight of the cloak, the weight of anxiety shrugs off of Astrid's body just physically. Her frame, like her frame, just sighs a big breath of relief, just involuntarily, and she collapses into the tufted chair where she usually spends her time embroidering and crafting, where she writes her letters to her friends. But I think at this point she wants to gaze into the abyss, looking for any sort of. I think specifically she wants to look for a way that she could potentially broach this topic with Dorian and not make it seem like she was purposefully keeping secrets, because this is like the top worry in her head. Like at the end of that's the thing that she's been able to untangle from all of this that's going through her mind is, how is this going to affect Dorian, and how can she heck, dropping all my stuff trying to get to my dice. How can she possibly explain any of this when it doesn't make any sense to herself? So is that I would say, is that a gaze into the abyss to you?
I think that's fair. Yeah. Roll with dark.
Yeah. I insist on gazing into the abyss a lot in the past couple episodes, even though I have a -1 to. Oh, wait, I have a +0 to dark. That's right, because I took a level up. Because I failed so many rolls last episode. That's right. So, all right. That's a 5. I guess I'm taking another experience.
You are definitely taking another experience. And before I answer this, I did want to double check something with Q because I couldn't remember. Dorian has not told Astrid about Rem, has he?
Correct.
What I thought.
Who's Rem? Should Amber know who Rem is?
Nope, don't worry about it. Don't worry
Great.
about
It's
it at
fine.
all.
It's fine. Listen, we're gonna have a chat. We're gonna.
Well,
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fine. Probably.
yeah, wonderful. Shit.
I'm sure it's going to go really smoothly, especially because as you're, well, what does it look like in this instance as you're gazing into the abyss?
I think specifically the way it manifests now is, if anyone were to come into the room and try to talk to Astrid, her eyes are completely glazed over. It's almost as if like Astrid's pupils have disappeared into the depths of her navy eyes, and she's just completely slack faced, gone, just feet looking like she's dissociating and externally, which kind of that's what it is, you know. But internally for her, gaze into the abyss is just probably a more refined like serial killer board, you know, of like little strings, and it's probably embroidery thread, honestly, going through just Charlie Day and the Pepe Sylvia episode, and but you know, Regency, it's fine.
I love that so much. Incredible. And so I think what then happens makes sense because you start looking at where all of this tangled information about your origin and your connection with Octavia and what all of that means to you, to Octavia within the family you were raised in, all of that. Like you start to look at that and you're immediately overwhelmed just by the number of pieces of thread on that board. And so you start to focus in more on, okay, that's confusing, but what is important is talking to Dorian and how Dorian handles this. And you find yourself starting to think, what has been going on with Dorian recently? That now that you're thinking about him, there have been late nights out that he didn't really elaborate on, that he has had some changes to his physical appearance that you do not know entirely what to make of. And that there are instances where he seems to be lost in his thoughts for an extended period of time. And maybe it's just that this is all being filtered through that anxiety that you're feeling, but all you can really think is, I need to tell Dorian my secret, or at least I want to tell Dorian my secret. And I'm pretty sure he has a secret as well to tell me.
I see you, Dorian. Who you been talking to? Pull
Nobody.
up. Drop a pin. Drop a pin.
Listen, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Maybe we'll see. There's a conversation that needs to happen first.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Astrid is the more Astrid like tries to like sit and unravel and everything just it just gets more confusing and causing more consternation. At this point, fuck it. She was going to try to leave tonight, but God, what the fuck? No, it's time to go to bed. I think honestly, as she's like gazing into the bit, like once she like comes to from gazing into the abyss and coming to the realization that Dorian has a secret too, probably, she just starts getting undressed and slipping into bed. Fuck it. Literally, fuck it.
Bruh.
What's listen, when you run out of batteries, when your candle snuffs out, sometimes all you gotta do is just go the fuck to bed.
I get it. I get it.
And so that's
fine.
what she at least she has a bed tonight. Because who knows if she'll
What's
have
that
one in the
supposed to mean?
morning.
That was not about you.
What's that
That
supposed
was
to
not
mean?
that was
Who
not a
Was
knows
that
if
shot.
she'll
about
have a
you?
bed tonight?
There was not a shot at you. I promise.
100%. 100p.
So who knows? We may need to have a whole boarding house just for all of our Season of
I
Secrets and
love you.
Shadows characters.
JT, this is not about you. I love you, sister. Wait, where's my K-pop cat? Fuck. Yeah. The cat.
Did you look the tiny like there we go. We got there. Yeah. Yeah.
And
I
then
want to join in.
The young
Yeah.
hey, while yes, do love you, no. You're grounded.
And so we have
boarding
Astrid
house.
getting some much needed rest. We have Octavia finding her way to the boarding house and the room there.
Listen, no one ever goes to sleep in role-playing games. So let's all role-play going to sleep. That sounds ideal.
You know, I love this for you because it's making me think of two different games that I'm in where it literally has not been 24 hours. We are still in the first 24 hours.
In the first 24 hours. We're still in the first 24 hours, JD. We're still It's fine. It's literally fine. Anyway.
I think that does bring us to you, Dorian, because as I said at the outset, you remember Abigail proposing a collaboration on an exorcism and Rem agreeing to that. And then you find yourself back in your residence, head aching, no memory of the past few hours, and Rem. You thought Rem was angry before. You are reminded in this moment, feeling just the waves of anger coming off of them, that angels were not just God's messengers, but also God's warriors. And you realize that capability inside of them, now inside of you.
Mm-hmm. What happened?
What happened?
Did you not understand me? Did I not speak clearly enough?
Oh, I understood you perfectly, Dorian.
Then if you would elaborate and answer the question, I'd appreciate it.
What happened, Dorian, is that after you put yet another mark on progress that I had been making by making a deal with Miss Abigail Donatelli, I agreed to work with her, and that, I suppose, was my mistake, though you seem to think it might make up for how that earlier decision affected me. And I suppose that I should have known better than to be willing to deal with a devil, because what happened is that while I was in the midst of performing the ritual she had asked me to perform, she decided to end it. And rather than simply saying to me, "We need to stop the ritual," she scalded me with hellfire.
Hmm. Yeah, I can see how that'd be a bit alarming, upsetting perhaps. But I have a question for you. Why is it that I can't remember any of that, Ram?
I would imagine that it has something to do with the fact that she shot hellfire right into our head. I am not blocking you from those memories.
Hmm.
I have
Interesting.
nothing to hide.
Good to know. So, what was the outcome?
The outcome, I would assume, is that the exorcism was not completed.
Is Carmen detained? Is he out free?
I would assume.
You would assume.
I would assume. I did not see him detained when I left. So I would have to assume the opposite is what is true. Since it seemed that the discussion was moving in the direction of just releasing him, which seems like a decision that perhaps should have been made before I was asked to place him in a ritual circle and begin performing the ritual.
Yeah, probably. Well, thank you for telling me that. Well, I thought we were going to have another fight.
I would not presume that we are not, because I have serious reservations with your relationship with Miss Abigail Donatelli.
Also,
Did you not hear a single word that I said right here, Dorian?
I mean, well, to be fair, she shot you with hellfire. I think the relationship that's in question is yours with her.
Well, seeing as I am inexorably linked to you currently, and as we've established, your actions do reflect on me and vice versa. I think it is fair to say that it is a little more complicated than separating it between my relationship with Miss Abigail Donatelli and your relationship with her.
True. So, if I'm getting this right, what you're saying is I need to stop engaging with Miss Donatelli so that you can keep your goody two shoe image. Sorry. So that your record does not receive any more marks on it.
I believe that is greatly simplifying everything, Dorian.
I'm a simple man, Ram.
Something that I swore to myself that I would never experience again is another taking choice away from me. And that is what happened when you made a deal with Miss Abigail Donatelli. And that is what happened when she attacked me, rather than simply asking me to stop. If I had refused and she had attacked me, that would be one thing. But she didn't even give me the choice. And it's funny because back at the ball, when she realized how you had changed, she made it clear that I was not to save her.
Mm-hmm.
Yet she seems to have no qualms about making or at least influencing choices for all of those around her.
Obviously. It's in her nature. Now, while I might have given you a simplified version of what you wanted, doesn't seem like I was incorrect.
If we will simplify it to the point of, I would strongly prefer for you to stop fraternizing with Miss Abigail Donatelli, then yes, I suppose we can simplify it to that point.
Very well. See? Wasn't so hard now, was it?
Why?
Because two of the instances of you losing your choice involved her, and one of them was because of me. So, it's not a hard choice. We agreed to be in this together. So, together we'll be.
And you feel that anger starting to abate.
Now, do you know if Astrid came by at all?
Not as far as I was aware. No. Were you
Okay.
expecting them?
I was hoping. I did make dinner, after all. It's fine. How late is it, anyway?
It is late. It is, I would imagine, time for some rest. It has, of course, been a long day.
Yeah, well, as it turns out, I'm not really in the mood to sleep right this second, so. All right. I suppose we should rest if you would. The hellfired.
I think it is important that we both rest, Dorian.
Sure. Sure. Recuperate. Try again tomorrow.
That is all we can do. There is
Mm-hmm.
there is always tomorrow.
Yeah. And Dorian is going to head to his room. And he's gonna lay down. He's probably not actually going to sleep, but he is going to lay down.
That is very fair. What is going through Dorian's head as he lays there?
Lots of dead ends. Uh, the anxiety of, not really anxiety, just the pressure of like wanting to be married, wanting the stress of preparing for a marriage to be over, all while war is happening. Like a war in the city. Also, it's not lost on him that something, has happened with Astrid, but he's also not one to pry because he has lived a life of secrets. Like for literally so long. So when they're ready, he's sure they'll tell him, but there's still that weight of waiting. Also, while he did say that it was easy, there is a part of him, just way in the back there that is, reluctant to let go of a thing that he's known for so long. Yeah. A little voice in the back of his head screaming till the world burns.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Hello, Raiders. Welcome. We are in the
Hello.
midst of several emotional moments in our Regency-flavored Monsterhearts game. So welcome to the party. So, Dorian, you are thinking about the growing conflict and unrest. You are thinking about that phrase, until the world burns, and you're pretty sure that you don't fall asleep because that was not the plan, but what else but a dream would explain what you see? Because you see one of the parks, a familiar place. Somewhere you've walked hundreds of times, but the earth is scorched. And as you look around, it isn't just scorched. You are familiar enough with hell to know the foliage that is blooming, to recognize that this is not just conflict that has changed the city, but the melding of multiple realities that has changed the city. And there is a hand in yours. And I'm curious, before you look over to see who it is, whose hand do you believe you're holding?
Now that is rude. Okay. All right. So hear me out. Hear me out. I do have two hands. So what if I was holding two people's hands? What if that was a thing that was happening?
I am always in favor of yes and. So,
Hell yeah.
Listen, as a Mountain Goats fan, I do believe in I have two big hands and a heart pumping blood. And also 1960s and a 1967 Colt 45 with a broken safety catch, but that's beyond.
Well, so who is who?
I mean,
That's my
yes.
question.
Okay. Astrid to the right. Abigail on the left. The hand placement significant.
Incredible. So you look from side to side and you see each of them. And you had said that the hand placement was significant.
Mm-hmm.
Something that is strange, I mean, stranger than what you're already seeing, is as you look back and forth, their features begin to blur. So you look over at Astrid, and for a moment you're pretty sure that's Abigail. And then you look over at Abigail, and there's a moment where you're pretty sure it is Astrid.
Oh, me and my perfect woman. Oh dear. There's a poem about that. We won't get into it right now. Anyway. I'm gonna not worry about that. Yeah, that tracks. I'm not gonna worry about that. So the park is on fire, but like hellscaped mostly. Okay. I think he's Dorian's gonna take both of their hands. Do I feel Rem in this moment?
You do. And
Mm.
when I say that you feel REM, you feel the heaviness of wings against your back.
Oh. Oh. Like it me. Oh. He's gonna look at the two of them. We have to fix this.
And Astrid looks at you and says, "We already have, Dorian." And Abigail says, "Of course we will, Dorian."
Uh, confused. I think he's going to step back. Letting go both of their hands, and he's going to look at them like more fully.
And so I have to ask you this, Q. What do Abigail and Astrid look like in Dream? How does Dorian see each of them?
I think they look like the two queens on a chessboard. One all black, the other all white. Imposing. Captivating. Powerful. Beautiful. Dangerous. And I know they are different statures, typically, different, heights. I think in Dorian's mind, they are like the same. They are twisted and broken mirrors of each other. Eh. Amber, don't look at me like that. I love you. Don't look at me like that. I love. Wow. Wow. Don't do that.
My mother-in-law just caught me flipping you off. She just flipped me off with both fingers. So I'm actually no. Can you direct that to Q? No, you
Wow.
Just come and kiss you.
no, I'm still on.
Okay.
Wow. Wow. So that's what they look like.
I mean, that was an iconic moment to have caught on camera, and I'm so glad this will live on in infamy.
It will live on for sure.
Somebody clip that.
And so, Dorian, you are looking back and forth between the two of them, and in unison, and in almost the same voice, it's overlapping. They both say, "It's time." And your hands, which have been empty because you have let go of each of theirs, you suddenly feel the weight of a sword. And as you look at it, it erupts into flame.
Oh. Oh dear. Oh boy. Here I go killing again.
But you don't need to worry about that right now, because as the sword catches ablaze, your eyes open, and you see the soft light of dawn coming through your curtains.
Ram.
Yes, Dorian?
Yeah. Can you ever do you ever share my dreams?
I do not dream. It is not something I am able to do.
All right. Well, listen. I'm not going to confirm anything, but I think your Almighty might be gearing up for something big. Do you know how to use a sword?
And I think that is such a beautiful moment that even though it is 10 minutes earlier than we usually would, I think we're going to go on a slightly early break and pick back up as we're hitting the next day for these three lovely characters who all slept, and I am so proud of them. Because as we all know, sleep is very important, and I sleep a normal amount.
Okay. All right. You almost had it. You almost had it. We were so good, and then you just had to go and do a lie at the end there.
JD, I hate to say this, but people who sleep a normal amount don't have to point it out.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
It should go unsaid.
It should
Like
go
it's
You
It's
know,
an
if
assumed
people,
fact.
if people did not question me so often, I would not have to say it.
We question you because you give us
you
reason
say it.
to love it. To love it.
But
love my
yes, do not go anywhere. We have so many more twists and turns for tonight. Interesting conversation brewing between our couple, and some Fae shenanigans with our Exile of the Winter Court. So don't go
Oh.
anywhere. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Hey everyone, we are back. We are ready to dive right in. I said things will get interesting, and I was told that was a threat, and I don't know why, but it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a great time. And we're going to pop over to Octavia and her first night at the boarding house. And I'm wondering, much like I asked Dorian, what is going through Octavia's head as she wakes up the following morning?
I'd say primarily just like, okay, you've been knocked down to like the lowest you could possibly be knocked down to without getting murdered. Where do you go from here? What has Helix taught you about politics and war that you can use to start to build yourself back up and then become the threat that your uncle seems to think that you are?
I think that is a reasonable line of questioning for Octavia to go down. And as you're thinking about that, there are certainly some things you have done, Octavia. I mean, you have made some very powerful friends, and you know this. And there is an added power in the fact that they are not a part of any particular court or aligned with the Fae at all. Well, despite what you now know about Astrid. But you recognize that while those were not necessarily moves you made intentionally in fostering these relationships, they are likely going to serve you in ways as things progress. But I think what you more start thinking about is the fact that right now, in this moment, it is not likely you are going to find a connection or an agreement with any of the aligned Fae. They do not want to be getting more involved, especially with someone who, in this moment, does not have power in the way that Octavia does. But there's always the unaligned Fae. And I think they're starting to look like a pretty good option.
You read my mind. Ambrose is the last person Octavia hasn't cut any deals with.
So you're thinking about that, Octavia. You're, I would imagine, starting to develop a plan for the day. And that is when you notice the envelope that has been slid under your door.
I think she sort of freezes up at that because she didn't tell anyone that she was coming here, and as far as she knows, the only people that could find out are Abigail and her father and good old Father Donovan. She'll pick it up and crack it open.
And inside it is a fairly simple and straightforward message, in a lot of ways identical to the one you received from Seneschal Julius Shaw. Just, a few days ago? It hasn't been that long at all since that happened. The difference is twofold. One, This is from the new seneschal, Damien Deloso. The second is the meeting time, which is not late at night. It is, in fact, for lunchtime on this very day. And rather than being in a somewhat creepy, off the road type location like that first meeting was, it is at a familiar restaurant, though you do know that that restaurant is considered neutral ground.
Okay. Tigga will fold that letter up and set it on her desk or wherever, on the bed, under the pillow. She doesn't have a change of clothes. She could probably shower here, I imagine, but everything that she owns is in Abigail's place right now. So she will have to make do with bathing and then attempting to add some aromatics to her dress to sort of keep from reeking of Fae before she heads to lunch.
And so we will join everyone at lunch because, of course, you all received this request for your attendance at this meeting. But I'm curious whether Astrid and Dorian have a chance to speak that morning.
Astrid definitely woke up first thing in the morning and felt compelled to write a letter to Dorian requesting audience. Now, whether or not it was received in time, and whether or not she actually got a response is up to Dorian.
Probably not. He showed up at the Priver house.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dorian, you just arrived at the Primer house that morning.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, you just rolled up.
So
You
just straight
literally
up.
said, I don't need to drop a pin. I know where yours is. Oh, fuck.
Like, if you're not with me, I'm assuming you're here. If
Valid.
that's not the case, then I have to ask questions of the city, and people might die. So that's the thing. So yeah, he's gonna on the door.
And I mean, Dorian, you have certainly been here on multiple occasions before, and the process is the same. You know, you are welcomed, you are escorted in, you are brought to one of the sitting rooms, and Astrid is informed that Mr. Dorian Black is here to visit them.
Sorry, is that one more time?
And so Dorian is escorted in. He is brought to one of the sitting rooms, a private location for the two of you to speak. And you, Astrid, are informed by one of the maids that Mr. Dorian Black is here to call on you.
This is probably like 5 to 10 minutes after Astrid sent the letter off via Bird.
Perfect.
So she probably either assumes that the bird found you on the way or you were probably on the way. But they throw on, like, they're definitely not dressed enough. But they throw on some semblance of some sort of put together outfit. An undercoat, a dressing gown, all of that. And just slip on slippers and run down the stairs to meet you. When you see her, her hair is not done up at all. there's more of like an auburn sheen to it than there was before. But you don't really, I mean, you wouldn't notice anything else that's different about Astrid, but there's definitely like a frenzied look in her eyes that you probably aren't used to seeing.
So I think as you're approaching, you see Dorian sitting there with the bird on his finger, just sort of whistling to it. And then he sees you and the state you're in, and he's immediately up and is walking towards you. Concern, not anger or anything else. Just like worry. Are you all right?
Uh, um, Mr. Black Dorian, I'm sorry. I do apologize for I do apologize for
He's
being
gonna put his hands on your shoulders. It's all right. Would you like to sit? Do we need to walk?
I would love to walk, but I don't believe that I am dressed for the occasion. But if it's all right with you, may I pace?
Of course. And I think you're plenty dressed for whatever occasion. Let me sit. What's going on?
Dorian, I Astrid is picking at her nails, like worrying and getting at her anxiety through her, like picking at her, like the cuticles of her nails, and
Huh.
just kind of pacing back and forth in like small little circles. I do apologize for my absence from your home over the past several days. I know that it is completely unlike me to not be completely.
One, our home. Two, it's all right.
I I just I I I don't know how to tell you this, Dorian. I really don't, because I'm afraid of what me. I'm afraid of how you might respond and how you might feel about us, and maybe potentially feel like you've been misled. I want to let you know before I say anything that I have told you exactly what I knew as I knew it for the most part, and I did not withhold any information from you for the express purpose of hurting you. Please understand this.
Mister, go ahead. I'm listening.
I, Dorian, and Astrid stops. They're pacing and is unable to meet your eyes, just staring like at a blank spot in the wall as a grounding method. But still, she fiddles with whatever she can get her hands on, her pockets, her nails, the edges of her robe, whatever. But as she stammers as she tries to make this revelation. Um, well, Dor, actually, JD, can I roll keep your cool?
Absolutely what I was about to say. Yes.
Okay.
Please do.
All right, sick. Because I'm like, I don't want to say that she would actually be okay with giving this outright, given how fucked up she is about this. I am afraid of Dorian. I'm afraid of Dorian rejecting me, being upset that I didn't tell him of knowing that I was potentially Fae as soon as I knew. Yeah. So let's go. I need to roll with cold, which I have a not great in, a -1. Fuck. Okay, that's a 3. So that's another experience, baby. Let's go.
We love to see failing forward. Let's absolutely do this.
Yeah, Astrid falls apart. Just like tears start streaming down her face in thick. No, tears start streaming down her face in winding rivers that feel like there's no potential end. And she really desperately cannot look at Dorian at all.
He's going to, again, take you by the shoulders, and then one hand is going to go to the side of your face, lifting it up gently. Hey, there's nothing you can say. It's going to change the way I feel about you. It's all right. It's going to wipe the tears away.
They lean their head into your hand and grasp your wrist with both of her hands. Her eyes close and tears still silently twist down her cheeks. She takes a deep breath, attempts to take a deep breath. Her chest is racking with sobs as she's crying, but after a beat, she whispers, Dorian, I'm Faye. I found out this summer that I was a changeling, but I didn't know. I promise you I didn't know. And then I was trying to learn more about the Delosos and everything that happened last season. I tapped into some weird magic while I was trying to learn more about that. I was sent to Fairy. Just everything happened so much that I promise you, I didn't know until this summer.
Okay.
I'm
It's
not
all
a
right.
primer.
Okay.
I don't think my family even knows.
So, what does that mean for you? How do you feel about that?
I feel like I don't know who I am. I feel like everything that I've done and everything that I've built up over the past 26 years, it's all, none of it is real. None of it is mine. It was all under some glamour. And Octavia is drawn up in this too. And I just wanted a simple life, Dorian. I just wanted to find a spouse, get married, settle down, love each other endlessly. I didn't.
I would love that kind of life. But I don't think that's really in the cards for either of us. At least not now. But we can work on that. Work towards it. Which means we need to be together on things. Unified. And, well, seems that you learned some things during the summer, and, well, I was busy myself. So, you shared, I'm going to share.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Not going anywhere. Still right here. All right?
Thank you.
Of course. He's going to step back. He's going to breathe, and the normally gold eyes flash that brilliant white. There's a flare of
Oh, what a day! What a lovely
wings.
day!
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Street. Raiders. Go ahead.
A flash of white wings behind him, only for a moment. And then they're gone. I made a new friend after Abraham let me loose. I went sort of hard and head first in with the Church of the Sun and realized that I had simply traded one master for another, which is when I met Rem. And we had a chat, found common ground, a desire to choose for ourselves, not have our choice taken from us. And, well, we decided this was potentially a good partnership. And so Rem's been working with me to clean up the streets, as it were. I'm looking for answers to try and find Fitz's sister and the Connolly boy. And Rem gets to send the devils and fiends that have found their way onto the streets of London back home. I was hoping to make a proper introduction, but we've been a little busy. Never really had the chance.
I apologize. I don't follow, Dorian. Uh, so, who?
Oh, I got you. I'm a vessel to an angel. The reactions were just great right there across the board.
I'm sorry. Well, I guess it's a good thing that I'm not truly a primer, since they're affiliated with the Infernal Church. So,
Yes, well, Listen, I've been with them quite a bit, at least, this last summer, and they weren't destroyed in holy fire. So, that being said, I still don't much care for your family.
Well,
They've tried very hard to make peace. Now that it's official that we're getting married. But I mean, I could have it done today and not worry about it.
so what does that mean for you that you're a vessel to an angel? What does it hurt? Are you okay? Are you? Can you? Are you still your own person?
Yes, mostly. I'm still me. I'm still Dorian. But we've bound ourselves with purpose. So his actions reflect on me like mine reflect on him. Which turns out will actually probably be, to the benefit. I'm going to be cutting off ties with Abigail.
Well, I would hope you would after you loosened yourself from her father's grip. But
I mean, entirely. We were still interacting, still talking. Remember, we were asked to work together
I
by the
don't follow.
seneschal.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I attempted to speak with her to get ourselves some information so that we could get in good with the winter court. And the interactions led to some discord between myself and Ram. And then Abigail asked Ram to participate in an exorcism. And then in the middle of it, rather than telling him that we needed to stop the ritual, she attacked him with hellfire. So we will.
Are you alright? Wait, so if you're a vessel, hold on. I'm so sorry. Also, this is Amber confused how this works. Is the angel live inside you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The angel lives sorry, Amber, I'm breaking kayfabe for a second because I think my autism is just like stepping in. Okay, hold on. So the angel lives inside you.
Yes.
Okay. Abigail attacked Ram with hellfire, but also in essence attacked you with it.
Yeah.
Okay, and so the conversation you had, sorry, I'm putting together all the pieces in my personal
Sure.
serial killer board.
And then filter it into Astrid. Yes, I love that. Yes.
So, okay, so Abigail attacked you, but she also, because she was attacking Ram with hellfire, it hurt Ram, but not you? Did I understand that correctly earlier?
I mean, Dorian doesn't remember any of it. So,
okay.
Who's to
Dorian
say?
looks fine. I mean, there are no visible injuries on him.
Okay. I still think Astrid is going to get exclamation point over their head, being like, okay, she'll it'll click. Okay, Ram lives inside Dorian. Still, jury's still out on that, but she's still gonna accept it. But kind of push you to check you out to make sure there are no visible injuries, you're intact.
I'm fine.
But why would she attack if you're if I
don't
just
know. I don't remember the exorcism. Rem thinks it has something to do with the hellfire.
okay. 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 This makes things complicated then because it turns well, Octavia lives with Abigail now.
Uh,
And Octavia is my sister.
oh, I'm sorry, what? She's your sister. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's gotten fascinating, hasn't it?
Um, so apparently this
Uh,
is what I learned on my journey to to
uh,
Fairy, is Octavia had a long lost sister that um, I still don't quite understand. Amber still doesn't quite understand. Um, I Octavia had a sister who had been whisked away by the Autumn Court, and there was a need for a Fey presence here. Apparently, changelings are only installed in a location when they are potentially useful in um, positions of power.
uh,
And, well, given everything with the Seneschal last year, that explains a little bit.
it does. It does. Huh. Okay. Well,
So,
not to be, I guess not to jump the gun, we do have plenty of space in our house.
or you should would be unbecoming of me to move it. Well, I guess it doesn't fucking matter anymore, does it?
Not really. I'll have movers get your things and have them out by the end of the day. Also, my love, I met Octavia as well. I don't know.
You made Octavia?
I said I meant Octavia.
Oh,
Man, I didn't make Octavia. Surprise! I'm
Like,
also
oh,
gay. Ta, 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 ta.
that would be a
No.
wild swerve.
you're Octavia's real dad? Dang.
Oof. Tater, the
Tater.
toddiest.
Oh, that's a tot.
Such
Demanded
a
uppies.
such a chonk. My word. um, I don't know how you're feeling about the whole, revelation of kinship, but if if she needs some place to go that isn't, with an actual devil. Oh,
Uh, uh, hello?
hi. Hello.
Hello?
Hi. Can you hear us? Can you see us?
The Wi-Fi here. Great. I'm here.
Okay,
I
great.
can see. I can also see Tater. Yay. Can you say that again? Revelation of kinship from the
Uh,
top.
yeah, I don't know how you're feeling about the revelation of kinship, but if you want to make sure that she's not, staying with the literal devil, we have guest rooms.
Um, well, I would want to protect. Now that I know of my connection to Octavia. I would want to protect her. If you're open to having our doors open to her, then I think that would be wonderful. At least to keep her away from potential harm. If Abigail is prone to launching hellfire at people.
Well, I don't imagine that she'd launch hellfire at Octavia, but I do suspect she would get Octavia into more than a good share of trouble.
Octavia already talked at regicide. I don't know what could potentially happen if we were to expose her to further dealings with the devil.
Well, her talking of regicide while she's not in the court anymore, certainly not safe. So I'm gonna have movers come to collect your things. Yeah?
Thank you.
Of course.
Please. I'm so grateful to you, and I thank you for understanding. I only just found out last night all of it, so this is all very new to me. Were I able to tell you sooner, I would have.
And I'm sorry it took me so long to introduce you to Ram. Hey, I want you to know, it's you and me. We're gonna be all right. Don't have to worry about telling me everything immediately. I trust you.
Do you promise everything's going to be all right?
I promise.
You'll do everything within your power to make sure that this is all right?
I, Dorian Black, do solemnly swear that I will do everything within my power to ensure that everything will be all right. While I'm doing that, I'm thinking to Rem, you hear me saying the words, right? We gonna have a problem with this, or we good?
I do not see a problem with this, Dorian. And in fact, you hear a voice, Astrid, come from Dorian's lips, though it does not sound like Dorian. And the voice says, and I, Ramiel, also make that promise to you, Miss Astrid Primer.
A small, satisfied smile slides easily on Astrid's face. Then I'll hold you to that promise, Dorian. And Ramiel, I love you. And we will make this work.
And I love you. Now, I believe we were invited to lunch.
Oh, of course, naturally.
Absolutely incredible. And so the three of you, I would imagine, from your own respective directions, do make your way to the meeting point for lunch. You notice that the restaurant is let me not say suspiciously empty, unusually empty, though that is not surprising given that this is clearly meant to be a private meeting. It, in some ways, is not unlike the experience where you first met Rem, Dorian, and that this is clearly a location designed for opportunities for those to speak in a place of comfort that is also not aligned with any specific supernatural being. And I am imagining, given the conversation with Astrid and Dorian, that perhaps Octavia arrives a little bit sooner than the two of them do.
She does. And I think she is keeping an eye for Damien, not because they have the meeting set, but because she doesn't have any money and they're at a restaurant and she's very interested in having food right
And when you arrive, Octavia, you are greeted by a host who clearly expects your arrival and greets you with Miss Lady Frostpin, please come this way. And you are led to a private room in the back, though the rest of the restaurant is empty. And Damien is sitting there. There's a moment where he clearly did not realize that you would be arriving so soon, because he is sitting there at the table with a glass of what looks like whiskey in front of him, head in his hands. And the moment he hears the host clear their throat, he immediately straightens up and like brushes his hair back and tries to make himself look a bit more presentable. But I
now.
mean, you easily can tell, Octavia, that he has not slept, and he has just a haggard, exhausted expression on his face.
Seneschal, I'm hardly royalty anymore. You don't have to look put together for me.
Be that as it may, Octavia, I did call this meeting, and it would not do to have people see the representative of the crown looking anything but presentable. Please take a seat. What can we? What can I? What would you like?
Uh, Anything at this point. It doesn't have to be hot. Uh, Anything that isn't frozen, preferably. Do you want your glass chilled?
That is kind. Yes, I will take you up on that. But I mean, Octavia, I mean that. What would you like to eat? You can have anything you desire.
Oh, do they serve meat here?
It's a restaurant, yes.
Any kind of meat. Just have them toss something on the grill.
I can have that done. Anything to drink?
Just any wine, I think, would be fine if we're drinking, which it seems we are.
I think there is good reason to drink, yes. And he calls the host over, puts in your order, so to speak, and the two of you are left alone once again.
What's troubling you, Seneschal?
Oh, so many things in this exact moment. But it would not do to get too far ahead of myself before the others arrive.
Who else was invited?
Lady Astrid Primer, Mr. Dorian Black, and of course Miss Abigail Donatelli.
I don't imagine that Lady Donatelli will be appearing,
No?
but, well, let's just say she didn't go home last night, and if she wasn't there, I can't get in. So, as of current, I am without my things. As for the other two, if they're arriving together, they'll probably be late. Or later than I was.
I am sorry that you are in any way negatively impacted by Miss Donatelli's choices.
It's fine. She's got her own thing going on.
That she does. That she most certainly does. But that is not for you to concern yourself with, Octavia. I am sure you have more than enough going on right now.
There is surprisingly little to do once you've become an exile of a court, aside from the stuff that you specifically have invited me to do. And also the things that seem to keep happening to me. Not to complain.
Questions on that last part, and you have my apologies without context on the first part.
Seneschal Toloso, you can speak plain to me.
I would rather not have to repeat myself, but the crown will no longer need the services of you and your companions. And I think that is the moment that Astrid and Dorian walk in on.
I will just say it gets...
That bag.
And I
That bag is
think it is.
aggressive. Are we in there?
I think we are in. I think
Heck
we
yeah.
are up.
Bringing us back hot live.
Yep.
How daring.
How dare I?
How dare
How
you?
dare I?
How daring.
Thank you for your patience, everyone. Technology decided it did not agree with the Crown's decision and decided to make it impossible for us to continue this conversation. And so, yes, where we left off, Damien, the new seneschal, had just been explaining to Octavia that the Crown was no longer in need of their help, which they had been asked for just a few short days ago. Just as Dorian and Astrid arrived with so many questions from all three of you, Damien responded by picking up his, I would imagine now, chilled glass of whiskey, downing the rest of it, putting it down on the table, resting his hands like he was bracing himself for whatever was about to come next. And then finally, after a very long moment of silence, said, well, the Winter Court seems to be willing to listen to reason. They have requested a meeting with Queen Louis and Sovereign Micah, well, in approximately an hour.
And where is this meeting being held?
At the palace.
Okay. Can you get us there?
I do not believe that the three of you should be in attendance at that meeting.
I don't
And
know
I
if...
think you absolutely should have us there.
Why?
You called our attendance here.
I did, with the express purpose of asking the four of you, three of you who are here right now, to not interfere.
I had an agreement with the Sovereign.
And I am here on behalf of the Sovereign.
Okay. Now, hear me out. The Winter Court is suddenly agreeable.
I understand what you are saying, Mr. Black.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I suppose it's all going to come out regardless, but many things have happened over the past 24 hours.
Uh-huh.
Isaac Connolly is back in custody.
Huh.
For
For
The
murder.
murder of me and my brother. Though that is complicated in so many different ways, and
Wait, not the prince?
I was just making sure he didn't commit another murder.
no, as far as I am aware, he did not. His role in Prince Reynard's death is, yes, another complicated factor.
Right.
What about Horatia?
She is not in custody at this time.
Is that because she's dead?
I do not have the answer as to that at this moment.
All right. Okay.
So,
So, all right. So,
Seneschal,
like, so that we're clear, you are aware that this feels like a trap, right? Okay. And you're just going to allow it to happen.
The Winter Court. I don't know how I seem to always find myself in these situations. Julius said that he found himself in these situations often, and I do not believe it is a trap, because I sat down to speak with the Winter Court this very morning.
unbelievable.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Seneschal. I
Yes,
understand
Octavia.
you have a duty to the crown, right? You have to do what they say. Yeah? Let me get this straight. I saved the sovereign's life. I saved your life. To some extent, my hand in that. I have been assured that the sovereign was on my side, and I have garnered allies in this. I have lost everything in this. And you are telling me that it was for naught?
I am telling you, Octavia, that things have changed, and I do not believe any of us want to see open war break out on the street.
No. You want it to happen behind closed doors.
I do not want it to happen at all, nor do I think it will.
You're wrong.
Sure. Listen,
Octavia, I am not wrong.
one of us is correct. Darling, I don't know about you, but if we are no longer required, I have no problem going home.
I don't see why we shouldn't take our leave if we've been asked to waste our time here with a incompetent seneschal.
You could have sent a letter.
This could have been a letter.
The one that you sent us, inviting us to lunch. There's not even food here.
You would have just accepted a letter and not wanted to ask the questions or make the accusations or assertions of me that you have?
Yeah, but that would have been our prerogative to do so. Not this. Futile formality. Octavia, you are welcome at our home. We have more than enough room.
I think at the current rate, the chair is completely frozen over, and if you two had not stepped out of the way, your feet would have been iced over as well. I appreciate the offer, Mr. Black, but I'm not done with the seneschal.
Very well.
Our door is always open to you, Davia.
I appreciate that.
No matter what. I feel like after all we've been through in the past several seasons, all of us, I mean, it is essentially family at this point. So we would love to consider you family if necessary. Seneschal, I understand you've been through a lot, but I hope you've been through more lives than any of us could even fathom to understand. But if we are to if we are just to be summoned to be told how useless we are, then I would much rather that come via letter than not told directly to my face. I've already faced enough in the past several weeks of learning of my so many things. So please, do not continue to waste my time.
Esther, do you misunderstand me? I do not think that you or anyone at this table is useless at all. If anything, I think the opposite, which is why I've summoned you here, because I understand that each one of you has a vested interest for your own reasons in this situation. And I do not want to see you in unnecessary danger or, and I will be frank here, interfering in matters in a way that could make brokering peace impossible.
Is the jury going to be there?
They are.
Then I will be in attendance. Thank you, Seneschal.
JD, what move is available to me if I want to insight check or see if I can glean what the fuck Damien knows?
I think that's a gaze into the abyss roll.
Hell yeah, let's fail another
Let's
roll,
do it
Amber.
again. Haven't done that enough.
Yeah, I think Astrid's just gonna it's going to appear again to the seneschal that she's like, oh, I've been dismissed, fuck you, and then dissociate. But she's just like, something ain't right. I don't trust these bitches. Trust no seneschal. Okay, that's actually a success. That's a 7. It's not a great success, but it's a success.
It's just, you know what? We will take it. We will definitely take it. And so, Astrid, you Your eyes glaze over as you stare at Damien, and you see a variety of images that move almost too quickly for you to fully understand, because you see Carmen in a circle made of chalk and blood with a silver collar around his neck, and you feel the hole in Damien's chest that almost feels like the hole that was once there when he was killed. But no, his heart is still beating. It's a different type of pain. And you see the last look that Damien had of Carmen as Carmen walked into hell with Rhiannon. And then you're back in your own body. You're in the graveyard where you were sitting just 24 hours ago, noticing those different threads, the connections between different realms. In that moment that you decided to see what would happen if those realms connected. And then you're back within Damien, seeing through his eyes. And you see him at the Connolly residence, and you recognize it as the Connolly residence, as you have spent time there in many seasons for events, though it is all frosted over with ice from the winter court. And we almost lost Amber, but we have them back, so that is good.
Okay, the last thing I heard was like seasons.
And so you see the Connolly residence, which you have seen the interior and exterior of in previous seasons. Though it is now all frosted with ice from the presence of the winter court. And you see King Laszlo and Queen Guinevere sitting there, and you feel Damien's distrust as he sits there across from them, because the two of them look happy. They do not have that anger that you are very clear the Winter Court has been expressing in so many ways in the past several months since the death of Prince Reynard. And you see a door to the side of the room open and a figure walk out, but you do not get a clear glimpse of them, only that their eyes are an infernal red. But you are certain in that moment that whatever Damien found out about there is what has him so certain. Though what that means is a question, given that was a rather suspicious looking image. And that's what happens on a mixed success.
I'm gonna need you to DM that to me in playing language at a different time.
That is fair.
Yeah, Astrid's spine straightens a little bit, but part of me wants to go into my darkest self, but I don't know if that would actually be like appropriate at this point.
Keep
We'll
the game
save that until a
feral.
better.
I mean, keep the game feral. We have one session left for this season. So remember that.
And I don't think any of us have gotten to our darker self, have we?
Abigail, the jury is out on Abigail.
Not this season. We haven't this season, I don't think. Unless
No.
something happened, yeah.
No one at this table has.
No.
I think Astrid's spine straightens, her shoulders roll back, and she clears her throat as she very pointedly connects eyes with the Seneschal. Seneschal, I do not deign to understand I do not deign to understand what exactly it is that you are hiding, nor do I understand what exactly it is you are concocting, but using everyone involved with the season as pawns, whatever scheme or revenge plot you have going for you is absolutely unfair, and it's unbecoming of somebody of your station. How dare you put people's lives on the line? You have no fucking idea what any of us have been through to ensure the safety and the goddamn decorum of this entire court and over the course of the past 6 months. And continuing to string us along to pretend that we are just meant to be moved around and played around like at your beck and call. Absolutely not. I think with every like the growing crescendo of Astrid's voice, she's just finally fucking losing it. The glamour literally has come off, like of after the previous night. Fuck this. The shimmer of like again, as with each subsequent word, every syllable growing louder and more frenzied and more incensed. You know, we had a taste of that on the first meeting with the new Seneschal several weeks ago, but she knows the truth now. She knows a little bit more of what Octavia's been dealing with. She now knows what's been going on with Dorian, and who knows what the fuck is going on with Abigail, but absolutely fuck this. And all bets are off. All magic is off. All glamour is off. And Astrid, just with one final, like, continuing her rant and just making wide gesture, literally throws off the humanoid, like the human appearance, and embraces her fae self, her autumn fae self. And the darkest self for the Holdra is they only want to use you. They don't see you as a person. This is why you keep your secrets to yourself. Opening up only gets you hurt. Well, dead man tell no tales, right? So destroy them, lash out, and make sure the version of you that they see is the most terrifying monster of all. Every word is an insult. Every interaction is a cruelty. And that's what Astrid, that's what she does. The biting fall chill that kind of accompanies the winter chill that Octavia brings swirls through the room. And though maybe in a gentler mood, if she had better control of her powers, maybe like cute little leaves or whatever might swirl through, but no, instead it is dead branches swirling across the room with growing more and more pointed, jagged, painful, more and more like a lash for every word that leaves her mouth. And I think she wants to try to like slice or like injure the Seneschal with this.
Roll with volatile.
Fuck yeah. I have a positive modifier in that one. Hell yeah.
About to take Carmen's brother away from him again.
Yeah, fuck them. All right, that's a 9.
All
I lash
right.
out physically, man.
You do lash out physically. I need to get my documents up, which I did not do after we came back. And so, yes, you harm them, but choose
That's my
one.
sister.
They learn something about your true nature and gain a string on you. I decide how bad the harm turns out, or you become your darkest self, and you've already become your darkest self.
Yeah, I think Astrid just was. I'm just tired of being a useless lady. Yeah.
And so, Astrid, you have finally fully come into your powers as a fae, and in doing so, you inflict the cruelty that the fae are capable of, words and actions, and you watch as those branches swirl around the room, and you see blood start to flow from Damien. You see a cheek opened up. You see other marks appear on him. And you see the moment one of your branches embeds itself fully in his shoulder.
I understand that hurt people, Damien, and that you have been given some of the most vile wrongs that anybody could have possibly seen on this side of London. However, that does not give you the goddamn right to inflict the same pain on people who are not deserving.
Dorian's gonna place a hand on the small of your back. It's not a controlling, it's just a moment of comfort.
If you'll
I think
excuse me, I'm going to take my leave.
I'll be right with you. Hello. Dorian is going to move over to Damien. Not gonna say anything apart from brace yourself. And I'm going to pull the branch out. And I have a little ability where I can heal. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Yeah. Oh wait, no, I have to be at 3 trespass.
So I will say I will give that to you, Q, because I don't think we've really been tracking your trespass. Like, you have been doing a lot of things off screen that we've never factored in. So I will give you 3 trespass for what you have been up to.
Sweet. Fantastic. Awesome. Okay. So yeah, I will I can perform miracles, purifying poison water, ecstatic flight, returning to life by location, and so on. At the end of any scene in which you perform miracles, reset the trespass forgiveness scale to 0 and gain the condition drained. So Dorian will place a hand on the shoulder wound for sure, and then just let the energy flow through him and into Damien. You see the little smoke trails of light come from his eyes. His hand glows, and the wounds begin to heal. And then he's going to turn before he leaves. He says, Octavia, the invitation is open. Whenever you are concluded with your business. And he's going to follow after Astrid to head out.
And we're going to watch as the two of you leaving the remnants of broken branches and scattered foliage across the floor. There are some other branches embedded in walls, chips taken out of the plaster, and Damien is just sitting there with a hand pressed to his shoulder, despite the fact that the wound is healed, staring after Astrid and Dorian, not even seeming to be aware of the fact that Octavia is still in there with him.
Scary stuff when a Fae awakens their powers.
Yes, I suppose it is.
Will not mince words. Whatever you're hiding that is making you so certain that my uncle is suddenly reasonable and willing to come to terms with the monarchy. You're being fooled. There's a carrot on a stick somewhere that you cannot see, and it is pulling you with them.
I'm not Octavia.
Spare me your lies, please.
Why would I lie to you? What reason do I have to lie to you, to any of you?
Promise me then.
I am not making any more deals. Not after what the last one cost me. But if you want to know, Octavia, it'll be common knowledge soon enough already. You will witness it with your own eyes when you are sitting there on the jury of Fae. Why am I so certain that King Laszlo and Queen Guinevere are willing to broker a deal? Because they have their son back.
I think the room freezes. Very pointedly avoids damaging Damien any more than he already has been. And what dark deal did they make for that one?
They did not make any. And I am certain of that. As the arbiter of balance and of justice, they did not make a deal.
Forgive me, Seneschal Deloso, but from where I am sitting, you have arbitered neither. Now, I have a meeting at the palace.
I will see you there, Octavia.
Send your brother my regards on your way back.
I'm afraid you will have to do that yourself, Octavia. I am no longer his brother.
And I suppose, in a weird, twisted way, you and I are one and the same.
How do you see that, Octavia?
He is no longer your brother. I'm arbiting something that is no longer my court or my family. The ill will I hold for you is not for your personage, but for your post. I understood it with Julius, and I don't think that Astrid necessarily understands it the same way, but you do a tough job. Partial as you have to be, I still have to do mine.
And in having that understanding, Octavia, you do understand what my position will have to be if you choose to disrupt the peace that we are attempting to build.
My actions today will depend entirely on whose back that piece is being built on.
Understood. Then I suppose I shall see you in 1 hour's time, when the most important decisions that have faced our city thus far are made.
I hope you get your cut of the pie.
That isn't what I want, Octavia, and I suppose it is an understandable distrust of my position, but all I have wanted is to see no one else come to harm. And all I have seen is harm upon harm come to those that I care for.
It's not your fault.
That is kind, but not true.
Then one more thing before I go. Your hands are not as tied as you think they are. Unless you are bound to the king and queen by Fae, or by some sort of hellish deal, you are allowed to make the choices you need to make.
That, Octavia, is where you are wrong. Because I do have a duty, and I do need to follow orders. And unless I find that those orders are unjust or disrupt the balance in some way, I must follow them. And right now, I have seen nothing that disrupts the balance. I have seen pieces moving closer and closer to balance than we have been in months. And that is all I want.
I get it. But you're wrong. And you won't have the power to fix that once it stops being balanced.
You keep telling me I'm wrong, Octavia. But how are you so certain that you are right?
Because I know my uncle better than you do. He would not have just changed his mind, even if he got his son back.
Then I suppose we shall see, won't we?
And she'll turn and walk out. and grab her food on the way out because she's still hungry.
And we will pan out slowly, taking in several different figures as we move into not so much a bird's eye view of the city, but having a chance to see several different moments that elapse. We see Astrid and Dorian. We see Octavia with her food. We see Damien sitting alone in now what is more of the wreckage of the restaurant, taking another glass of whiskey that is offered to him and staring deeply into it before throwing it all back. And then we see the frosted grounds of the Connolly estate, in which the Winter Court is beginning to make their way towards the palace. King Laszlo and Queen Guinevere at the lead, and standing between them, Prince Reynard, his eyes glowing an infernal red, but as alive as he was at the start of this season. And that is where we are going to end tonight's session, to pick this back up when we reach our finale near the end of next month.
Good things come to those who wait.
How we feeling, everyone?
So
You were so
Can
mean
we
to
have-
me.
Can we have an episode where Dorian and Astrid just make out?
Yes,
I mean, yeah, sure.
When are we getting the wedding episode?
we will be
Hey.
scheduling a wedding episode. That will be
Hell
something
yeah.
that happens.
Okay, dope. So listen. Season 3, we're playing new characters because these two are like, hey, we're fucking out. We're out of here. We're gonna go
We're
have
done.
a home in the woods. Just be.
I was just going to give you both a beach episode, but you know.
I'm fine with that too.
No, hold on. Nope, hold on. JD, do
I
you
thought
mean an
beach
actual
episodes
beach
weren't
episode,
allowed.
or do you mean a Will Malkus beach episode?
Rogue One is a beach episode.
Oh, is it now? Is it?
It is.
Hey, Steph, you're here on stream. I need you to clip that right there. I need you to clip it.
Can we have an Applebee's episode? Where we just go to Applebee's and have dollar margaritas
Absolutely.
and no consequences.
Listen, that was what I was trying to give you with this lunch meeting. Like, I was trying to give you just a nice
We
meal
really
and some
did
drinks.
make a scene in the
No.
Applebee's
Boy.
tonight.
Absolutely not.
Boy, no,
Absolutely
you
not.
did not.
Absolutely not. Thank you for trying. Oh, how dare you? Anyway, this has been a
Efforts were made.
fantastic time. Gooped and gagged. There were a lot of twists and turns on that. Thank you so much.
What happened to my
So shall we
roommate, JD?
Shall we do some outros?
I mean,
That's
yeah,
the question.
yes, I got you. Sure did.
It's so everything is so fine. We are going into a totally normal finale for both tables.
What day is our finale?
The
This,
8th.
no.
No.
The
No.
20 the
Oh, right, 22nd.
22nd.
Right.
We rescheduled it
We did reschedule it. Yep.
because we're goofy. We're in a goofy mood.
We're
I'm just
so
making
little-
sure I put it on my calendar. Okay,
Yeah.
it is on my calendar. All right.
Heck yeah.
All right.
Yep, we are set for the 22nd as our finale. So we will have a little wait, but we will have the other table go into their finale first.
Next week.
Oh, fun.
And so with that, Amber, I'm gonna have you up first for doing an outro.
Heck. Hi, everybody. I'm Amber, also known as the Space Jamber. I have been Astrid Primer, our Faye in Waiting, whatever. I am a 3-time Emmy nominated TTRPG writer, editor, podcaster, and streamer, and I'm also just fucking tired. You can find me anywhere there's internet at the Space Jamber. Wow, Rammies were had by all.
That is a factual statement and could be the tagline of this series.
Yeah.
All right, JT.
Octavia is going to commit regicide next episode. I feel regicide in this Chili's tonight. I'm sick of this shit. She is done. She's, you know what? Just do away with the whole thing. I'm killing every monarch I see on my way to the palace. That's a joke. For legal reasons, that's a joke.
Damien hopes it's a joke. Damien's like, I don't need that.
She sends Damien long fucking letters that are just like, here's how I'm going to dismantle the monarchy, and then ends with PS, I'm joking. I'm kidding. Hi, I'm JT. I am Miss Octavia Frostpin, Winter's Exile, very soon to be Winter's Prisoner for regicide. You can find me all over the internet at WeebJeet or on threads at Weeb_Jeet, where I have recently made an account that I don't use or look at least in the last 2 weeks. But I'm trying, because I've recently made a bunch of new social accounts for a thing coming up that I think technically I could talk about if I wanted to. Being the guy in charge. As far as it like goes, I'm starting a channel. It's just a goofy little channel. It's called the Entropy Emporium. It's going to be a variety channel. We're going to play TTRPGs. We've got 2 shows slated to launch with, and I'm also going to play video games with my friends. Maybe some people here included, if they will make some time, because I love them a lot. But yeah, this could be a good time. There will be more in the coming weeks as we sort of start to get things like settled down. There's a lot of work that goes into starting a channel, and I'm so happy that it's coming together. Anyway, I'm actually not doing a whole lot. This is it now, I think. I had a really busy October, and now I'm like, what streams do I have? None. I have this one, and I have a one-shot on Lost Caravan next month, and I'm in a mech finder campaign on Lost Caravan, but that's in production. We're not doing that yet. So, yeah, that's it. I'm here. Oh, no, that's not true. Wait, I have a whole ass show. On High Shelf Collective next Wednesday.
To say, JT, you're like, I forgot anything, and I'm like, aren't you running a game?
We took a mid-season break, and I have forgotten them entirely. Next Wednesday at High Shelf Collective, I run a game called Beacons of Farlight. It is a, I want to say 40K-esque is the closest approximation. Gross punk, post-apocalyptic type world. I love them all. And next year, we're doing Beacon Bites, which are going to be 3-episode mini arcs between the main stuff that some people here have been invited to or will be invited to as soon as I am ready to plan them properly. Come check those out on High Shelf Collective. That's all I got. I'm sorry for talking so long.
No, we have exciting things, and we are so
exciting.
glad that you announced that, JT. We are thrilled for you.
I figured I was at least going to wait until after Thanksgiving, and then I would I'll just toss the name out there. The socials aren't online yet, but you can follow them at Entropy Emporium. That's it. I'm done. Cut me off.
I can do that with your permission, and I'll throw the mic over to Q.
Hello. I'm coming to you live from not my own home. This keeps happening, and it's fine. You can find me on the interwebs at Midnight Inc. That's Midnight_INQ. Q is my name. I'm sure you get it. So I have this game. We've got a thing on the 22nd. I've got the guest spot for class reunion on Tuesdays. I'm very excited to get back to that. We also have Cold Iron, which is also here on LFTA. It is Changeling the Lost. set in an alternate universe, Soviet Russia. I'm playing a good little soldier there. Don't worry about it. And then alternating Thursdays, I am playing Weston, Dominic Brooks, who is a monster.
Correct.
Yes, certified monster, but not the worst one, interestingly. Yeah, and then, there is a thing. I can't fully announce it, but I can, make a call for it. I am looking for one more person. I am looking for, I'm looking for a black person, a person of color. I'm looking for one more individual for a cast that I am working on for a project that will be going on in February. I have finally finished the things that I needed to do to get it started, and I am looking for one soul to complete my little gathering. I'm very excited about it. I've teased a little bit here and there to my friends, and they've hyped me up, and I'm really appreciative of it. Looking forward to that. Other than that,
Q, is this what we've talked about before?
yeah.
Okay. Yes. If you are that person, please talk to Q immediately. You are going to want to get in on this.
Yes, I'm very excited. JD, I'll send you the updated thing because I finished the casting doc, and I'm very excited. But yes,
Q,
hi.
would you be open to referrals?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
If you let me know like who you've already talked to, just so I don't refer like somebody you've already talked
Got
to,
you.
that'd
I
be
will send
sick.
you. I will absolutely send you the list of who I have so far. Yeah. Yes. So that's me. I'm looking forward to it.
Incredible. I'm so excited to hear new projects that are coming up from some of my favorite people. This is always incredible to hear about.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I am going to try to remember all of the things that I need to mention, and I'm actually not talking about the games I meant for once. You do not need to have your fingers ready. I am not going to count those off. Um, what I am going to do, because I was reminded of this, is 40 minutes until, well, 39 minutes until we close applications for our Hasmus event. I'm dropping the link right here. This is an event we will be doing next month. We have 7 special games. It's technically the 12 games of Hasmus. We're lying to you this year. It is more like the 14 to 18 games of Hasmus because we have so much recurring content on the channel now that we wanted to still give people in our community who don't normally get to run games or are not a part of our ongoing cast a chance to show off their skills and get in front of the camera. So we will be closing that at exactly 11:59 tonight. We have had tremendous response so far, but the game pitches are incredible. I could not be more excited for the chaos that is going to be brought between. I can't even name all of the systems. We have so many systems. It is remarkable. So they are off the wall, unhinged, holiday spirit games that no one could have ever expected. So, yes, check that out if you haven't. Again, we are running at the very end of time on this. So, get your application in to be considered for the cast of one of those amazing games. I do most of my stuff over here at Live from the Apocalypse. You can find me in a number of games mentioned: Class Reunion, Cold Iron. I run Redacted. I, of course, run this. In terms of what we have coming up, this Sunday, we will be back recording a new episode of our Masks Actual Play podcast, Academy H. It is going to be the season 1 finale. Things are really bad. You will want to experience this live if you are able, so come back on Sunday the 26th for this. JT has promised me that they are going to use their bad stuff to torment me, which is great because my character is actively in the process of dying in that. So, like, I don't know how much more bad stuff can happen, but it's fine.
I'm negotiating.
We don't need to worry about it.
We're in talks.
In terms of things that I specifically do, you can also find me tomorrow with Exquisite Corpse Presents in Sister Cities, our non-magical D&D campaign that is currently magical. And the other thing I'm going to plug, because I'm very excited, I will be playing another mini-series with Blake Season over on his channel. He is running an American Gods game that I am absolutely feral for. It is my favorite novel, and I will be playing a good boy named Damien Doyle.
I am
It's
so
fine.
mad that I missed that. I'm so it's fine.
Listen, when Bleak really enjoys a new project, he does it multiple times with multiple casts, with stories created for each of you. So keep an eye on that, and I feel like if you poke Bleak, there will be enough interest for this to happen again. Sorry for speaking for you, Bleak. This is all out of love for the amazing things you do. But yes, that will be starting this coming Wednesday. I'm so delighted. And I think that is all I need to plug. Socials, if you are not following us, here are a variety of the places you can find us. We are live from the apocalypse at most of them, live from the APOC on Twitter only. We are still alive there for the time being. And join our Discord if you're not in our Discord already, because that is how you find out about things like Hazmats and other one-shot events we do for moments like Extra Life Weekend, where we're fundraising for a specific cause. And of course, where you can jump on discussion boards to see all of the memes and all of the unhinged things that people say in the chat as they talk about things that have happened in our games. I'm sure I'm going to be delighted when I pop in to see what's happened on this particular game's discussion board. But I think with that, it has been a long week, everyone. We are all tired. How about we all say goodnight, cast?
Good night, cast.
Night,
Good night,
cast.
Cass.
Good night.